Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Better Half Show. I was definitely about to say a different show. I'm not gonna hold you. I really had to pause, like in my head. Um, but yeah, welcome back to another episode. Um, what's up? How y'all feeling?
Good. I just left my daughter's Black History Month program. It was the third graders. They did the program. It was really, really nice. They had the Lakeshore third grade steppers. When I say freaking phenomenal, they were great. They had a couple of the D9s there. They had the AKAs. Shout out to any AKAs out there. They had the Nups was out there, but my favorites, they had them Omega, them dogs. Them white people didn't know what to do when they started barking.
First of all, it's the nukes. Let's start with that. Second of all,
no, sorry I apologize.
I was like, I don't need you to offend anybody.
Not offended. That was my fault. I am so sorry. I seriously am.
Like, they are the pretty boys. However, I'm sure you'd still upset them.
Oh yeah, I'm light skinned. Them niggas are cool. But yeah, my dogs, them dogs, they was out there.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That sounds really cool, though. I'm glad it wasn't anything crazy. Like, I saw the other day on Instagram. Sorry, I'm trying to cut my steak. I'm being fat. I saw the other day on Instagram that some school, some teacher, I didn't pay that much attention to it. I kind of scrolled past it, but they were celebrating Black History Month by recreating segregation.
So with the doors?
Yeah, the two doors.
So again, sorry, because that was from my people, Charlotte, North Carolina. Assholes.
North Carolina.
Why would you do that? I don't know. But yes, they were from my city, Charlotte. Well, not my direct city, but I claim Charlotte because people know what that is.
I claim Detroit because no one, unless you're from Michigan, is aware of
right. Gastonia
next to it.
The only people that put Gastonia on the map was Tyler Perry with the Have and Have Nots. They called out Hunter Hus High School, which was also not my high school, but it was a high school that I went to hang out at all the time. But they have a Black, I mean, she is Black principal. When I say she is everything on point, she is amazing. Again, they sang, they had someone come in and do the Black National Anthem. They had these kids, they actually had Black female steppers teach these kids how to step. They were doing Black history. They were actually doing like Black history stuff. They were telling us about different people. The songs that they sung, amazing. I hope and pray that the third graders get to do it next year because Stink will be in third grade and I want her to do it.
That's what's up.
Yeah, she loves Black history. This is her time to shine. She loves it. She loves her Black.
That's super dope. I hope they do it, and I hope she gets to participate. Asia, how you feeling, Mama?
Good. I'm ready to end the rest of the week because I'm off Saturday, and I just want to get through tomorrow and hope and pray I don't burn down my job.
Okay.
Orange jumpsuit.
Plus, they thought today of all days was the perfect day to tell us, your store manager's leaving. He got promoted to go to Towson. Excuse me, this man, where did they? And I was like, hey, I said I can't. I said, all right, I'm just gonna stay till my little 4:45 and then I'm out because y'all didn't ruin the rest of the day for me and I'm over.
I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're off on Saturday. Also, super excited you're coming to the baby shower next week. So I'm excited. I'm excited in general. I feel like after like no one showed up to Ryan's birthday party, literally anyone saying they're coming at this point, I'm like, yay. So the money I'm spending makes it worth it. Someone's gonna come enjoy this shit.
People better come and show the hell up.
I mean, people have also been sending lots of gifts. Shout out to Riva, like called me the other day. She's getting a crib and pack and play and like a whole bunch of other stuff. So we are grateful, getting excited, all that good stuff. So finally getting excited. Took a while. Like 8 months. It took like 8 months. So yeah. Look, I've been also doing well. Yesterday I was on the main Head Nerds in Charge HNIC show. And I know you guys are aware of this, but in case you're not aware of it listening, I do Tubi Tuesdays for the last couple weeks. We've been doing Tubi Tuesday on the main show on Tuesday nights at 7:30. Pick a Tubi movie. We watch it live on air, and we talk shit about it the whole time, like as if we're in the movie theater being niggas. So
that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. So yesterday, instead of doing Tuesday, we did it on Wednesday in lieu of the main show. And Curtis picked the movie. And Curtis said never again. He'll never pick another movie again because it was painfully bad. It wasn't even entertaining. Like, it was high school film project levels of shitty.
That's Tubi for you.
All day.
I can't even believe it made it to any type of streaming. Anything.
I think Tubi is like Pornhub. It's like you shoot it and then you upload it.
Upload it, yeah. You just log in as a creator.
Yeah, you just log in and you like, I think it's gonna jump, and you put it on. Because there's no way the sorriest shit that I've have seen. It's like I've stopped the movie after the opening credits and said, nope, this is gonna be trash. Mm-hmm. And not even gonna play it.
Girl, this movie was called Cocaine Shark. And
yeah, I think that's the one.
Look, Cocaine Bear was actually an entertaining movie. So if you haven't seen it, it's actually not a bad movie. So I had, high is the wrong word, but I had hopes for it. I was trying to be optimistic. When I tell you, first of all, the shark that they kept showing, which was on land, because it was killing people like in warehouses, was a paper mache art project of a shark. There was ketchup blood. It was painful. It was painful. I messaged Curtis. Well, I messaged in the group chat and I was like, I put on a bra for this. I just want you to know.
I came all the way.
I could have missed all that movie. But it was still good. Like, lots of people tuned in. I mean, it was entertaining to make fun of, but like, Lord, was that a terrible movie. Like, that it was only like an hour long and it was the longest hour of my life.
For one, it was an hour.
It wasn't. It was an hour.
It's the fact that it was the fact that it was a parody to Cocaine Bear and it was shitty.
And it involved no cocaine. I feel we decided that they called it that to try to ride the wave.
That's like, you know, whoever used to edit BET movies.
Okay.
Now runs Tubi.
Like whoever the hell was editing Baby Boy and
Love Don't Cost a Thing
and Players Club and all that shit to run it on BET. They're the creators of Tubi, and they still suck. They were like, you know what? People used to watch Baby Boy faithfully on BET.
But it's not everything. The movie I picked last week was actually a really good movie. Like it was a good movie. It could be on Netflix or on, Prime. It was a good movie. But this one,
Y'all should just each pick a movie and then have the audience vote, because if y'all gonna be choosing this bad.
Now, facts. So we always tell anyone, if you have a suggestion, let us know. But so far we've each picked one. Like Gina picked the first one, and it was okay.
Was that the one that you couldn't air?
Yeah, it was the one that we couldn't air, so it doesn't exist anymore.
The hell was on this one?
It was too much sexual nudity and everything.
So what's the name of the movie? So people out in TV land here won't go see it.
It's called Two in the Bush.
Oh, that sounds like a porno.
As soon as she said it's soft porny.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said it, that's not where my head went. My head went to the other thing, and I was like,
Two in the Bush. It sounded like two girls in one cup. I'm just
thank you. It
wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Which is hilarious because we were just talking about that last week on our show with our BDSM special.
The fact that we were in high school when that shit came out and we were looking at it.
I didn't see it till I was in. Well, I am a year older.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't see it till
I was in college.
Okay, so with that, y'all being good. I didn't see it in high school either.
I hate you. I'm not being good.
It was a side look.
I'm saying I was a freshman at Howard when I saw it. Like that's when it was going around. I'm also a year older.
I, as the person who made 40K, will never.
Not the person who made 40K.
That shit. That shit.
All right, let's move on from that because
Well, speaking of movies, we jump into our topic.
Fact.
Because this shit should be a movie.
It should be a Tubi movie. As a matter of fact, they could take all 52 TikToks and make it plus the responses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the ex-husband has responded, and the
first wife,
first wife, and the ex have also responded, and the ex-son-in-law. So,
and apparently,
this shit. I watched it all yesterday at work. I listened to it yesterday at work, and I was like, "Excuse
me." I had started it, but it was like I'm rewatching Attack on Titan. So when Richard comes in the room, I'm like, okay, fine, I turn it off and watch Attack on Titan. But I had got to a good part, and I was like, man, I'm not turning this shit off just yet. He got invested. He was calling me from work talking about what happened.
That's hilarious.
It was the 12,000 red flags just in the first part.
I mean, God, it was like she turned every which way but loose from this shit.
You know what's funny? It kind of reminds me of I have a friend who was in a relationship. It wasn't this. We haven't even really introduced what we're talking about. We've just talked all around it. But anyways, it wasn't. It wasn't to this extent, but in general, they just weren't. He just wasn't her person. You know what I mean? Like they just weren't meant for each other. Mm-hmm. And like it felt like God was trying to take this nigga out. Like he kept getting a like car accident after car accident, like motorcycle accident, and like Asia, you know who I'm talking about. You've been in our lives since they were in my life.
Yeah, but then when you rehear it, it's like
and it's like she just stuck with him, and she was in some of those car accidents too. And I'm like, baby, you don't see that he gonna.
That's how That's how I felt watching this. I'm like,
that you're tying yourself to that.
I'm like, baby, the Lord has told you, besides coming down, smack you on top of your head and saying, bitch, I done told you now. Shit.
Exactly.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so if y'all don't know, we are talking about the TikTok user Risa Tisa and her 52 parts of her. What was it? Why the fuck did I get?
Why the fuck did I get
Who the
married?
fuck did I marry?
Who did I?
Who the fuck did I get? Who the fuck did I marry? And if you don't know, go watch it, or we'll show parts of it here and give cliff notes, and we ain't got 4 hours.
We do not have 4 hours. And I wouldn't even do that to you. But if you do have 4 hours, feel free to hop on TikTok and watch it yourself. But what we are going to do today is we have a summary of it, which is also long. However, we're going to read through it and pause and talk about it as we go, kind of dissect things. But if you want it in more detail, and like I said, there's been responses from a lot of the different people involved in this. Yeah, all that's on TikTok right now. It's kind of crazy.
And it will suck you in. I was in that bitch deep. I ain't gonna hold you. That shit had me in a choke hold.
I feel that. All right, so let's jump in. Anyway, it starts with she met him in March of 2020, 2 weeks before the shutdown. Met online, talked a bit, decided to go out. She has a blowout of her tire on her way to the date. He met her at the gas station, helped her change her tire, paid for a new tire, and everything. They still went on the date afterwards, talked, and hit it off. They got along so well that by the time the shutdown came, they decided that he would move into her 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, which, like I said, 2 weeks before the shutdown, because he lived in a studio. He paid for everything except for her car note and insurance and her phone bill. She was happy because she's never had a man like that. Should I pause there? We're gonna keep going.
Yeah, so that's part.
That's 12 red flags in just.
Well, I'll say it like this. So nowadays, or at least from 2020 when they started this and stuff like that, a lot of women expected men, and a lot of men kind of jumped in to new relationships spending money. So it doesn't sound too far off that a man would do that, especially once they move into somewhere with you, because what it is they met right before shutdown, they hit it off, they tried to figure out how they would go quarantine because they didn't want to be apart from each other. How that happened in 2 weeks, that was a red flag on both their asses to me. More so on her end.
To some people, they went to the Cheesecake Factory on their first date, and to some people that is a red flag.
Right?
I mean, to some people. To some people, share those. I'm gonna eat that cheesecake.
I love Cheesecake Factory. Don't at me.
But to me, it was like 2 weeks, and y'all talking about whose house y'all gonna quarantine in. But for him to come in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and pay your bills and do that type of stuff," I mean, who the fuck gonna say no to that?
No one's gonna say no to that.
I am me.
I mean, I ain't gonna say.
He still left her with bills that she could pay, so it wasn't like, I'm a completely love bomb you. It was, I'll take care of the household bills because I'm now raising them, right? There's more electricity, there's more water, all of that's going up. I'll take care of that, but your personal bills you still take care of. So it still seems in the realm, like Brittany said, of being realistic.
Yeah.
for a man who has it to do.
Especially the way that he presented himself as a VP, as is retired. For one, this was a red flag, but of course she sounded like she didn't know sports.
Arena football player.
A nigga come to me and say, I am retired from arena football and I got all this goddamn money. Nigga, you lying, because arena football
don't be making that money.
And it paid like a 9 to 5. Bitch, you ain't making but $20 an hour.
They make what did it say? I think somebody Googled it. Arena football players, the most they make is $48,000 a year. You're making what a 9 to 5, 40 hours a week is making.
You're making $17, $20 an hour.
How long has arena football been around where you retired and have a lump sum?
For one, it didn't come out until the early 2000s, late 90s, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean,
it was never and has never reached the level of NFL.
No, and then on top of that, nobody, when they were airing it, people was like, they would watch it for a quick minute because it reminded you of hockey. These men is tackling each other into walls and shit. So it's like, ooh, whose tooth gonna get knocked out today? But it got old,
right,
real quick.
Right.
I mean, you only
1986.
What was it? 86?
86. See, that's when it started.
And it didn't get popular until the 90s.
Right. I mean, realistically, how old is this man? He was born in 1986. Shit. It's not even
So you started playing arena football as soon as you came out.
He might be a little bit older, but either way, you ain't been playing from the beginning to have retired and have money.
It was the red flag for me was she said he was handsome and he was tall.
I know what you're about to say.
But when she started describing him at the end, I was like, bitch, where?
Why did you pick up her sentence when I already told her to shut up?
Oh, my bad. And then I see
you literally picked up where she was about to go with it. And I had already shut her down.
But you told her to shut up, not me.
I know, but it was still meant.
You were supposed to catch the hit.
Look, she lobbed it, I caught it, man. She lobbed it, I dunked it. I'm sorry.
It's like, oh, she shut me down. I'm gonna pass it to you real quick. That's hilarious. But yeah, so there were some red flags that, sometimes you do meet the one off the random, you know what I mean? And I feel like at least right here in this very beginning, you're looking at it through rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
I know when I first met Jamal, he is the first nice guy, and I put it in quotations because he is an asshole, but he's nice to me, right?
That's the best way to say it, and the only way to say it.
Yeah, exactly. So he was the first nice guy I had ever dated or really gave a chance, just genuinely nice. Will give you, he brought flowers up to my job, all types of shit that I have never had. In a lot of cases, that could be looked at as love bombing, and is a trait of narcissists, which I have dated in the past. So it could definitely be that, but that's just who he is. I mean, unless he's been hiding the negative traits of narcissism for the last 6 years, that's just who he is.
He's doing a freaking amazing.
And look, I said, I've dated narcissists. They can only hide that shit for
so long,
a few months, and you only have the representative for a short amount of time.
Yeah, once they show it, they can't hide it.
Once they feel like they've looped you in, then they start beating you down in some way, shape, or form, emotionally, mentally, physically, and then they fuck with you, they isolate you, and they control you. That's the goal.
But sometimes I feel like in the beginning, it's not necessarily love bombing. to me, it's like you do have a fascination with this person because it's new. It's no different than getting a brand new video game. And you want to play this video game all day long because you're trying to beat it. You're trying to make it to a certain level and you play it all day. But then after a while, you like, I don't want to play it no more. Or I pick it up when I can, which is like a relationship. You've been in it so long that you like, I don't have to do the same shit that I did before. So love bombing isn't always what I use for relationships when you see certain stuff, especially in the beginning. And I don't think they were love bombing each other, or I won't say her. He was a funny case. But it was kind of like, oh, I'm fascinated. Let me see. I'm not moving in with anybody after 2 weeks. I don't give a damn if they shut the whole fucking world down again. I'm not moving in with you after 2 weeks. We can talk. That's a lot. So
I also feel like if we're both isolating, we can still visit each other.
Because
you go home, I go home. We can still see each other because we're both.
No, because that's funny because so I met Mikey right before the shutdown.
Yeah.
Right before the shutdown. Hell no, not after 2 weeks. I'm dumb, but not that dumb.
But I feel like a lot of people was doing dumb shit during the pandemic.
Nah, there's definitely people who it may have even been shorter times. I know I've seen stories of people who were like on a first date, like, and the first date happened to be they flew out somewhere or went somewhere, and then they had to quarantine where they were.
Right. But that wasn't their case. They decided.
No, that wasn't. They made a choice.
Yeah, they decided this shit.
They said they didn't want to be apart, and so they was gonna figure out a way, and they figured out the way to move into her 5 bedroom.
She had a 3-bedroom. She had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, apartment or condo, something. But I know she had a landlord.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna continue.
All right, here we go.
All right, y'all let me know when you want to stop. Okay. So she was happy because she never had a man like that. Fast forward, he told her he had 5 siblings, 2 half siblings that he was close with. He spoke to his older brother every day on the phone, every day for almost a year and a half. She never actually spoke on the phone with the brother, but she did speak to him in passing, and like pass it along through him. And he'd say, "My brother says hi," and she'll reply, "Hi, brother," that sort of thing. He did have an ex-wife, no kids together, but he was close to her kids and kept a relationship with them. A girl aged 20 and a boy aged 17. They tried to buy a house together, but it fell through. He kept giving the runaround about actually purchasing it, but they did, however, shop for appliances. They put a hold on it sorry, I realized as I was reading that I probably read it in such a monotone voice. Sorry, let me move it.
Okay, well, we can stop and do the whole
yeah.
I was like, before we get into this whole story is my 13th reason. This is my 13th reason.
As I was reading it, I realized it kind of like dragged into each other, and I was like, wait, I should have paused.
Yeah. Okay, so I did not meet I met Richard's family before we got married, but I was not close to them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't meet everybody. When we first started dating, I did not know any of his family. However, once he started talking to him on the phone and stuff like that, I mean, I could hear the other person on the phone. And whoever he was talking to, because they weren't directly talking to me. They didn't know me. I didn't know them. However, I could hear somebody on the other end.
We all knew somebody was in the room and or on the phone.
Right. Like
I was contemplating. I was listening to that, and I said, "So you ain't never thing to be like, can you put it on speaker so I can speak myself?
Now,
Nothing?
some of it because he said he had 4 brothers. And 2 of the brothers, she did learn they were real, but they were friends that he would talk to as if they were brothers.
Related, yeah.
And related. So I'm like, okay, now that I can get, especially if you don't ask for clarification, because in the Black community, we know damn well we got to say, hey, is that your real cousin? Is that your real sibling?
Right.
Because we'll call somebody cousin and brother and sis all got done day, and they ain't even got not a stitch of blood.
Yeah.
I call my sister, we ain't even the same nationality.
That's hilarious.
So you have to ask those questions. But I can see that if there's somebody on the phone and you hear the voice, you're like, oh, yeah. But you mean to tell me you close to all these people? Because the sister he said he talked to every day, she was supposed to take her to the hospital or whatever. He asked her, the sister, to do that. You ain't even met these people. He's so close to these people. They stay in the same. Some of them stay in the same city as y'all, or the same state as y'all, and you ain't never hung out with them.
Well, it is COVID for the entirety of their relationship, essentially. Like the world started to open back up, but keep in mind from the beginning, for at least the first year, we was in the house.
But I mean,
it does work in his favor.
Now, the ones that wasn't really on the phone, that motherfucker was showing craziness. Because who gonna walk around the house for 30 minutes talking to their damn self?
I feel like he was listening to a podcast and pretending like he was talking
back somebody. When there's pauses.
Like he got an earpiece in and all the person you can hear it's him.
Dog, that's hilarious.
Like you can tell me at no point did you question. I don't know. That was a huge red flag.
I feel that. All right, I'm gonna jump back into the beginning part of the house.
Okay.
From there. All right. Excuse me. They tried to buy a house together, but it fell through. He kept giving her the runaround about actually purchasing it, but they did, however, shop for appliances. They put them on hold to be kept at the store until it was time for delivery once in the house, as well as furniture. She ended up finding out that it was a lie, and he never closed on the house. He never did any paperwork with the realtor, and he was just giving the realtor the runaround. So we'll pause there.
Okay. Yeah. Again, this shit had me in a chokehold.
Yeah.
At this point, when she found that out, you became his enabler.
Mm-hmm.
And it became her problem. Because to say, oh, because she was like, oh, I just wanted to know. I understand you already going through, because she was going through the miscarry at that time, carried with
that's the next
the baby
part.
and all the time at that. But yeah, so you're going through all of that. However, I think you should have said something to his ass. You should have confronted him then, because when you say, okay, well, I'm not gonna say nothing, I'm gonna just see where he goes with it, and then you still sound disappointed when he still keep fucking you over. It's stupid to me. At this point, what are you doing here?
How many red flags have we done? I'm sorry, I lost count.
16.
It's a lot of red flags. That I'm not even gonna hold you. I get it for maybe a couple houses, but depending on how long they were actually looking for the house, the fact that the realtor didn't say anything about not having any paperwork, like, what are we looking for?
Right. Because like, aren't you as a realtor supposed to be like, well, what are your finances like? Like, let's see what we can afford. Let's see what a bank would do. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Aren't
The
you supposed to
realtor
ask
usually
those?
gets you, or
What?
I mean, unless you have someone already, they'll usually get you in touch with someone
I was
to
going to say,
help
because
you.
Well,
when we started looking.
later on they explain that. I don't know if there's more to the housing situation once we get
Maybe.
done with it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, once we get done with this portion. But the
Ghetto.
The-
This shit is ghetto.
the realtor does come back and say, my bad on the situation. The realtor does come back and say, hey, listen, I didn't do my part. This is what I'm supposed to do. I don't want to get too much into that because if it's more into that, I would like to speak when we get to that because that was stupid. But yes, to me, it's like after, because I think at that point they had viewed almost 20 houses.
Yeah.
And the first house, I think they did 4 or 5 houses. And then they settled on this one. And then he just kept saying, oh, yeah, well, he doesn't need to talk to you, which is also a red flag. We living in this house together.
Yeah.
He can talk to me.
Facts.
Don't tell nobody not to talk to me. I talk to him now just because you told me not to.
It was the Chase loan for me.
That's coming up next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. Okay. She found out she was pregnant in April of 2020, so they tried for another house. This time, she involved herself. They put a cash offer for $699K, which, okay. He claimed that he had been approved through Chase Bank for $750K. She actually saw the paperwork for this, and that he had a separate savings account and an offshore account, but he never disclosed how much or with whom. So when it came time for the house, the seller was willing to accept the cash offer, but only if he proved he could actually pay for it. So even the fucking sellers were like, this. Oh,
okay.
This can't be true.
Because wait. So my dog got approved for a $750K loan. And she said, oh, I saw the paperwork. Baby girl, I can print that paperwork off of Google.
Yeah.
Well.
I can print that shit off Google.
Yeah. So he kept presenting this paperwork. He kept presenting this Chase accounts. He kept doing all that shit. But he kept telling them, hey, they were like, we'll take it. Just give us proof. And he's like, well, I give you proof once you accept it. I'm like, bro, that's not how that shit works. I'm not accepting nothing until I see that shit. But that's when the realtor was like, hey, listen, I get what you're saying. He was trying to be nice. I get what you're saying. You don't want to show it to them. However, I didn't do my part. I need to know what y'all's income is. I need to know what this is, and that is. I need all of that shit.
They asked all of that. They asked for your tax returns. They asked for your.
It's funny because I read this to Mikey, and Mikey said, "You sure he not under witness protection? Because he paying for everything in cash."
But the crazy thing is, she was like, I couldn't believe what he was doing because, to me, why couldn't he just show it? Yeah, bitch, why couldn't he just show it?
That's the question.
That's the question of the day. And she was like, but instead of asking his dumb ass, she did ask him. He says, I don't want to show my income because I don't want them to get into a bidding war. If they see what's in my offshore account, then they're like, they're going to get into a bidding war. If it's a set price, my boy, ain't no begging. They can't.
The bidding war comes in when you go under the price. And then they came back and said, well, we'll come down a little bit, but not that low.
Right. So now you're going to that whole thing.
Or other people are trying to get the house, but that's not where y'all were.
No, they all you had to do was show it. But she goes and asks other people. Some people are like, well, I understand what he's saying. I don't want nobody in my business. If I'm trying to get a damn 750
you need to be in my business. You need to see all of the business.
I need to see all your business. What do you do? Are you a drug dealer? What is it that you are doing to get this money?
Yeah.
And do you, better yet, do you have the money? Because if you gonna waste my time, then that's bullshit.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna jump back in. It became a back and forth about showing proof, so the sellers pulled out, and so did the realtor. She was upset and confused because he said he had the money, and bills were always paid, and they never lacked anything, so she didn't understand the issue. Around this time, she also found out that he was talking to women on Facebook Messenger, so she was starting to question herself. Fast forward to July of 2020, she had a miscarriage, and he wasn't there to support her, and a friend from work was the one that was there for her. He claimed that he had business meetings and he couldn't miss. He was the VP of a condiment company in Georgia.
Yes.
We'll stop there.
That's ghetto. A condiment company? You couldn't come up with anything fucking better? You couldn't come up with anything fucking better. You had to come up with a condiment.
You went from a football to the VP of a condiment company.
That's what
yes.
Like
yes. What qualifies you? Well, we know what qualifies you once we seen the pictures of him. But what qualifies you to know about condiments?
To know about condiments, to be the VP. Like, the only person I know in life that has done this many things with their career is Curtis. But it's believable. But I feel like I'm always learning something new about this nigga.
But to be a VP? Really? We're going to go with VP?
To be a VP. You know, most people work up to being a VP, as in they've been doing this.
He started this relationship. He started this relationship as part of the company, and then he got promoted to a VP.
I'm trying to figure out where he got the time, because for one, you already started off at 3 at the arena football, and then all of a sudden at 12 you started to do condiments.
You mastered ketchup and mustard.
That's exactly what he is. That's exactly
he invented relish.
Yep.
Not relish. Yep. Not the relish. I don't even know that many condiment. I don't even know that many condiment companies. I know maybe 2.
Heinz
and whatever the store you go to brand.
French's does the mustard.
Oh, okay.
Kraft's.
Yep, Kraft.
Yeah.
You go. That's 3.
That's 3. So what 3 of those condiments
is in Georgia?
You can't Google who the VP is.
What of those 3 is in Georgia?
That
you can't Google who the VP is.
That's the part that I don't understand.
Don't let me.
Honestly, how many of those companies the VP is a black man? Let's start there.
You never once questioned.
You know it's an old white person.
Black man in this condiment place. Maybe if he would have said condoms, I wouldn't have never questioned it. But condiments.
Look, and then the fact that in the videos, he apparently, as opposed to answering her calls while she was having a miscarriage, he pretended to be a secretary.
Yes. So he told her, according to the videos, he told her that he would be in a meeting, but he told his secretary, which was a man named David, that if she was to call, he was to pick up immediately. If she needed him, then he was going to come to the phone, come pull him out the meeting so he could get on the phone. She never called him from the hospital. The hospital called because she got out of surgery and he was supposed to pick her up. Even though the friend from work dropped her off, he was supposed to pick her up. She said recovery was supposed to be an hour and 30 minutes.
3 hours.
She stayed there for 3 hours. It was supposed to be an hour and 30 minutes. This nigga left her there.
He never took her. One of her friends took her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they called him when she was still like recovering to come get her. And 3 hours later, the man still up on deck.
Yeah, and then she was like, because she had got a DNC. She said so she was very druggy from the medication, anesthesia, and all that stuff. She said that she kept going in and out, but she heard the nurse and the doctor. The nurse was like, well, I called the number that she left, and her fiance's secretary picked up, and he said, well, if you need it, if you got any information, just give it to me. And the doctor was like, hell no, HIPAA. Like, I'm not talking. I need him to, I need the fiance to call me. So she was like, he did. An hour later, he called the doctor. I'm like, this is like, you were dedicated, my boy.
Yeah.
This is a full-time
It's funny because as you Google, as we're talking, I'm Googling. Why is the first thing I popped up was like condiment companies in Georgia with black beef, and the story is the first thing that fucking pops up.
Yeah, because he was the only one. He worked for a condiment place.
He was the only one.
So what pops up? What I thought was gonna pop up was gonna be his Wikipedia page. It's gonna have him as the VP. You know how you can change your Wikipedia page?
That's hilarious. Change it to be whatever he needs it to be.
Yeah.
That's so funny. All right, I'm gonna jump back in. Fast forward, his grandma passed away, and he was sad. Things started changing. By now, she was kind of over the relationship because nothing had changed, and every time they were to do something, they never could, or they never could or did because he always had an excuse. He took her to test drive cars because he was buying a company car and convinced her to get one and said he'll pay for it, and he didn't. Convinced her to buy an Audi 8 and it'll be delivered and had her take off work. And it never came.
Okay, pause.
Why?
Pause.
It's a walk this way.
Because you think after all of that, him not being there at your surgery, him not showing up in your recovery time, the whole house falling through. Yes, you're over the relationship, but you're gonna trust him with a car?
Yeah, I don't know why.
So this summary is kind of like giving you stuff, but not giving you everything.
Right.
Stuff. So the car and the houses actually run together. So by the time Christmas of 2020, Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2020 came around, she was like, sick of the shit already. She told him, don't even, when the second house.
She didn't want to talk about no housing.
She didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
And so when that happened, he come back to her and was like, listen, I want to be your husband. I want to be this. I want to buy a house. I want to get a car, all this type of stuff. And she was like, okay, cool. I just don't want to deal with it now. And then you watch all of this shit happen where he ain't making shit happen, and you still marry his punk ass.
So it was the I think what she saw was when he said, all right, let's go to the jewelry store, pick out the 3 rings that you like the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, all right, cool. And then when he just dropped it on the table and said, open it. And it's one of the rings she wanted. She was like, okay.
Well, she questioned herself. She kept saying, you're seeing the money in his account. He keeps showing you the money in his account. By the way, when we get to the end, I'm gonna say more about that too.
I can have money in my account and still be broke.
That's not the part that I want to touch on, but at the end, I'm gonna touch on that because I want that one. But, she's like, I'm seeing the money on the account. I'm seeing, he put the ring on the thing. He did make her get a car, but it was not the BMW the dark blue BMW with cognac interior that she mentioned 16 fucking times, 16 million times she wanted in that
She
shit.
was
kept saying
sad as.
And then on top of that, he also came in with the trip as well. She wants to go to London and Paris and stuff like that. She really wanted that. Again, I feel like she was the dummy. After a while, I'm just like, bro, you are
the one with just you mean the envelope on the table with the bow?
Yeah, and
then she opened it, excited. and it says itinerary. It doesn't say your tickets, your seats, your days, none of that. It just itinerary.
You got excited, dumbass.
That's hilarious. Nah, I need you to put plane tickets in an envelope.
Plane tickets, some money towards plane tickets, the vouchers, something.
Plane tickets in the envelope, period, or a gift
this
card.
This nigga just put an itinerary for what was it? He put an itinerary in there for what? July?
No, July. It was July that was supposed to go to London in the summertime, and she had the nerve to get excited. I was like, you must be smoking the best dope ever to continue to get excited. Like ecstasy or something got you smiling. Because there's no way I would believe all this shit after he won't even show you the money.
He must have some bomb.
He must have some bomb ass dick.
I never want to meet some dick like that. I never want to meet.
Never.
That is some narcissistic, toxic dick. That's please.
He has to have something.
I never want to meet a dick that good.
Never. All right, let me jump back in. He left for work every day at the same time. Came home at the same time, 6 a.m. to 3 or 4 p.m. He also ended up losing a couple more family members. By the end of the year, he proposed in December. They were married the next month in 2021, January 2021. Found out he was cheating 3 days later with a prostitute since November.
Peaches.
Decided on marriage counseling. And the pastor told her flat out, had you come to me before marrying him, I would have told you don't do it because something ain't right.
Period.
There.
Period. Because
no.
How the pastor see the lies before you do? How the pastor see the 12,000 red flags that came shooting at him or her before you?
Facts.
Yeah, well, because one, her biggest issue, and I don't know if it was the right issue, but I feel like it was. The biggest issue was he would not show her proof of income or proof of the money to get the house. So I guess that would be my biggest issue. Like, not only are you cheating and shit, but you got all of this.
You're being deceitful and sneaky.
And the prostitute came after. After they started marriage counseling. Peaches was not part of this.
I just want to know who I just want to know who Bradley is. If that was the dude,
I don't know who Bradley is. But we didn't even get into that. They missed all of that. Where he accused her of having somebody stop by the damn house. Somebody stopped by the house, and he accused her. Maybe that.
Wait. Okay, we gotta get towards that part of the story.
I honestly don't even know if that part's in here, but
it's not. It's not.
So we can talk about it.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay, so
ghetto.
It's so ghetto. So her birthday is the day after Valentine's Day. She says that for Valentine's Day, he went all out. Her birthday, he went all out. I don't know where the fuck he getting this money, but it is what it is. She says he hands her some money and says, "Hey, go get your nails done." She's like, "Okay, cool." She says she's sitting in the sitting in the chair getting her nails and toes done. She get a text message from him talking about some nigga just came by the house looking for you. And she's like, "Wait, what?" And he's like,
She
yeah.
like, who that?
Yeah, she was like, well, who? He was like, don't even worry about it. I took care of it. But she said she's the type of person, which I would too. You don't just stop by my house and I don't know who.
Well, no, he said no. She said no. He said, I think it was your ex.
She's the most. What do you mean?
Huh?
I said, but she's not that type of person. I don't know why she's fooling herself. Because if you falling for all this shit this nigga doing, you are not.
You some type of person, and dumb is, I think, the best word for it.
Like, bitch, don't lie to me.
But she says that he gives her. She's like, listen, who was it? He was
describe what he looked like so that I can start narrowing
like,
people down.
Yeah, he's like, I think it was your ex. She was like, it's only 4 people that I would consider that came to my house as my boyfriends or somebody that I'm messing with. So she's like, well, what was he driving? He was like a Charger.
A black Charger.
A black Charger. He pulled up. Not only did he pull up, but he backed in like he was used to coming to the place. So she ended up narrowing it down to the ex that she told him about. She didn't describe anybody else to him but this ex. So she was like, okay, cool. So she texted her neighbor and was like, hey, can you check on your Ring camera, which shoots into her driveway, if somebody came to my house around this time? On top of that, she had a security system where if her door was to open and shut, it would send an alert to her house. To her phone. So she said that the door opened and shut at the same
60
time
seconds.
In less than 60 seconds. So it doesn't seem like anything was out there. He says he was out there talking to the man, watched the man leave. She was like, in all of this, it had to be more than 60 seconds.
Facts.
Neighbor comes back. She's like, I didn't see nothing. She said, well, did somebody walk up? She was like, nobody was at your apartment at all. And she still let him walk on that one too.
Yep.
I said, he just accused you. And then he told her, he was like, well, the way you reacted, making it seem like making me feel some type of way. Bitch, I don't care how this make you feel. He like, I think you doing something because you really want to know who he is.
She mentioned that her ex would never get a black Charger because he was a police officer.
And he hated him.
Oh shit. All right. Okay.
So much.
So, right. It is about to be a 4-hour joint. So the ex-stepkid he was close with the girl got COVID and passed. And the mom, his ex-wife, wanted to know if he could help or they could help with $2,000. And she, the wife, Risa, agreed because she doesn't play about people passing. She ended up, okay, so that happened, and then it moves on. She ended up buying herself a Nissan Altima, but the note was more than expected. He was helping her pay it. So she told him she was getting another job, and he laughed at her. But she got another job, but the background check wanted her husband's info as well. She noticed that his social was different than what he put on the marriage license. She searched the social and all hell broke loose. This happened 3 weeks after they married on January 31st of 2020. Yes.
Public
data check?
Yeah, which could have been done much earlier.
Is that the end of it, or does she keep going with it? Is that the end of that?
That's the end of, well, it goes into like more of his background. Keep going.
Yeah, we can keep going. We might as well finish this.
Yeah, let's just finish this and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. She discovered that he never resided in California. He told her that he went to college, played football, and he graduated and met his ex-wife and moved back to where they reside now. trying to get his life together because she was cheating on him, but he remained close to the kids. He has addresses in Rhode Island, Philly, and Georgia. Found out that he had been married before the previous ex-wife. It ended that ex, the first one, by getting an order of protection because because she beat him up after finding out he lied to her about everything both times. Oh, and both times they filed for divorce, and neither marriage has lasted past 6 months. All right, keep going. Or
No, keep going.
You
okay.
keep going.
She found an address and number on the most recent ex and called her. And she told her about everything and to get her shit and to run as fast as she can. She said he only had maybe one family member that talked to him because he lies so much. And before getting off the phone, she asked about the girl, the daughter that had passed from COVID. And she said the daughter was fine. And they have no communication with him at all. She was flabbergasted. She found an obituary online that said his grandma had passed in 2008, not in 2020. During this time, his knee was giving him some trouble, so he couldn't really move around like he was or like he was before until he ended up bedridden. By this time, it was May of 2021. She discovered another obituary that said he only had two brothers. She ended up calling the college, and she ended up calling the college he said he attended, and they had no record of him. She was done. She ended up confronting him on his birthday, which, bitch, a fucking Gemini, June 17th, 2021.
That's ghetto. That's right after my birthday.
That's after mine. Mine is 16th.
Yep. And asked him, did he go to college? And he said he did, rolled his eyes, and tried to get upset. But she knew he was lying about everything. She knew about college. She knew about everything, and told him to get out her house before she killed him. He ended up calling an aunt, and she told him, I'll give you money to go home to Philly and just to leave her house. So he left. He was so lazy that he laid in the room using the Powerade bottles as the restroom. She was disgusted, but she didn't care because she wanted him gone. She changed her locks and her alarm. You want me to just finish it out from here? Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
And one of his cousins found her number and called her to ask what happened between them because he claimed that he caught her cheating with a police officer, and the police officer threatened to shoot him if he didn't leave. But the cousin said he lied so much that they didn't believe him. They hadn't talked to him in over 7 or 8 years, some even longer, because he burned his bridges with everyone. Found out he only had 2 brothers, and the oldest he claimed to talk to every day, they had beef, and hasn't spoken to him since 2015. So he was making up conversations every day like he was talking to somebody. And the other brother wasn't just his brother, but his twin. Not only his twin, but his not only his twin, but his twin that actually had the VP job at a company with a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house and a BMW. The life he was making up to her. He had no sisters, no half siblings, and the woman that he called his aunt was actually just a family friend that nobody trusted. They got a quick divorce. He was hesitant to sign it, but he did. He also tried to move back in with her since he was advised that they could until the divorce was final. The lady he called an aunt or family friend called her to check on the baby, the one that she miscarried, because she was under the impression that she was leaving him and trying to get custody. She was like, there is no baby, ma'am. She couldn't believe it and was shocked. He was still going around lying. She hasn't heard from him since the divorce was finalized. And that's the end of the summary.
Man, that was long. That was just as long as the 50 part. So the person who did it, they shout out to whoever did this. Y'all did a decent job. But they do
the basics.
Yeah, but I'm a literal timeline person, so that's why it kind of fucks me up. But some of the things that she's talking about, the things that she found out, the different because she left out that she found in a book bag he had to do weekend jail.
Yeah.
That she had talked to his actual brother, and he gave her the truth about a lot of stuff. At some point, I stopped blaming him and started blaming her.
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest things is me and Richard, we do not share bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing we do not do. He has his money, I got my money. However, I can look in his bank statement and he can look into mine.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me every time you show me your bank statement, it's got the same goddamn numbers? You getting paid as a VP, and every time I look at that bitch, it say $15,000 in it.
Right.
You ain't spent nothing. You ain't gained nothing. We've been together this long, and you ain't doubled this shit.
Nothing.
I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not understanding.
Spending money left and right, but this bank statement's still saying
$18,000. I'm like, you at that point, you're just. I think she had it right when she said, she was a person who was desperate to be with that wanted a man, that wanted to be married. And I think this is the extreme that you can get.
This is desperate.
Yeah, it's very desperate.
Yeah. I mean,
didn't she say she had been single for like a year?
Yeah.
Not even that long, though. It's not even that
long.
A
year is not that long. You ain't even healed from the last relationship.
When you breathe, a year is over. One breath in, you're in December.
Facts. I've been pregnant for 8 months. That's 4 months shy of a year.
That's a long
time. She's single all the time.
But it to me, it became, because to me it's like, okay, you find out all these lies. You find out he doesn't have the money. You find out that he doesn't go, because she knew for a while that he did not attend the college. Mm-hmm. She knew for a while that, you find all this stuff out, and then on his birthday, you kind of confront him with all of it, because you've already talked to family members. You've already talked to so many people. And you again, your receipts. Yeah, you have all of that, but you're still there.
And it was the she called the college for me, because I would have called the college a while ago and been like, oh, do you know this person? He said he played on the football team, blah 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 blah. So I'm just trying to see if I can get the coach and some stuff together for his birthday to surprise him, blah 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 blah. I would have made up some elaborate lie, because her dumb ass is believing everything that's coming at her.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because the first time you lie, I'm questioning everything.
As soon as the realtor calls me and says, "Are y'all still interested in the house?" and you told me that you put in a contract, it's in contract, and then it says sold. And we didn't get it. Right. Don't at me.
But then the last realtor that they had, she called her and was like, I just don't understand why he can't show it to me. And she's damn near getting counseling from a damn realtor on how to get. She's like, oh, well, if you don't stay with him. Normally when somebody say that, they like, bitch, you in danger. And you still stayed.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, he has a sickness. We get that.
So I'm gonna say this, because I think she's dumb as hell.
Yeah, we are.
When does she take the blame? Because everybody's watching this story, and nobody's blaming her for not catching the 46,500 red flags.
Brittany blames her.
I blame her all the way. I blame
no, me
her.
too.
Me too.
I started blaming her after the first.
But if you go read those TikTok comments, it's like, oh, sympathy, but ain't nobody being like.
A lot of people are
but
like, it scared me. And da 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 da.
Yeah, I'm just like, and I'm sitting here like,
how did it scare you? Because we can all watch this and pick
and
up. I'm
gonna say this because I was just recently watching this before we did all this. So y'all know the TikToker Morgan Bailey, the one with baby daddy from Atlanta?
No, but continue.
Okay. Whatever. Risa Tisa blocked her because her story was tragic or terrifying or whatever. But baby girl, you mad at her because you in that situation that she was in and got out of.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna hold you. I thought it was a lie. I thought it was a Tyler Perry skit. I thought when I first got so deep into
reading a screenplay,
I was listening to like somebody pitching me something. If it wasn't for the ex-wives and the stepson and all of them getting into it, or him responding, which this could be, hey, we do remember Jesse. We know that shit can be made up and, you know, played out and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for them, I would say, you know what? I think she's lying. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of things that I'm like, bro, you didn't. She does not mention on the first date sending her where she was to him. Like, I don't remember her sending her location.
Right.
She was explaining a lot of stuff, but she never said
because she switched up real quick before she did the clarification. She started calling him. She called him her fiance, and she was like, "Oh, for some clarification, bitch, you should have clarified that shit before you started calling him your fiance in the story."
I mean, in the first clip, like in her first video, when she mentions how they met, they had matched on both
Hinge and Facebook dating.
And he had two different names and two different sets of pictures, and he was two different people essentially. Yeah. That was a red flag.
Huge.
She said we matched. She said we matched on Hinge. We was on Facebook dating talking. Then I logged on to Hinge to see we had matched there. Bitch, he could have just scrolled through until he found you on fucking Hinge.
And just swiping right on everybody.
Okay.
Or searching for you, like you said.
The one thing we didn't touch on, there was two things that she said in one. She was like, "Hey, how did that happen? That's fucking cool." I don't know what I did. Like, I don't know. Sorry, oh squirrel. But she said, you know, he took it to the cemetery. That was not his grandmother's plot.
Okay. No, because that bitch said something and Jane Doe.
Well, she wasn't saying the name. She didn't say the name. She was just using Jane Doe, I think, as like a cover up. Like she was whatever, everything else. But she was like, he took me to go see that. Then he was like, hey, you see that building over there downtown?
The yard building?
That's where the condiment thing is. The new, what was it? VP
office building.
And she was like, why the hell would y'all go move downtown? He was like, no. That's still over there. This is where the offices are. And this is where I park my car, my company car. And she's like, you got a company car.
Take me there. I want to see.
Yeah, and she's like,
but you have a company car that doesn't leave work.
Okay, so he explained it. Because the car, he had the company car, he was approved by the company for $90,000. And that equaled the car, the title, and the tag. That's how much that was. He was supposed to send it to finance. He got on the phone call in front of not only her, but also the salesman the first time that they tried to get this BMW. And was like, yeah, it'll all be done tomorrow, yada, yada, yada. He never mentioned the company car again after that until this particular night. he says, yeah, because it's a $90,000 car, we don't live in the hood, but it can get hood-ish. So I'm not gonna bring a $90,000
First of
car.
all, the nerve you have to talk about my motherfucking house I got on my own fucking accord when you can't find a place for me to move to.
Right. But he's like, it's hood-ish, so I don't want to bring it there. So what I do is I drive this rigging car that I got. I drive it all the way here and then drive it all the way to the plant because even though he was a VP, she said he didn't dress like a VP. He dressed like somebody that loaded the shit or was working in it. He was like, oh, I only dress like that because I walk the floor all the time.
Because that's what he does. For the record, that wasn't mentioned, but he was a temporary contractor as a forklift driver.
Yes, and he worked in the cemetery where he found the doggone grandmother's what's called grave that he showed her. This was all in the bag where he also had to go to weekend jail.
It's the weekend jail for me. The weekend jail is what threw me off because I was like, and so you just didn't like annul the marriage right then and there?
So, like, you didn't question why he wasn't home on the weekends?
That's what I'm trying to figure out too.
Because I swear to God, if Jamal wasn't home every single weekend, like, nigga, what is happening? And
nigga, you're gonna have to fight me. You're gonna.
It only needs to happen one weekend
because
for you to
his
be like,
schedule,
what the fuck is
his schedule, what was it? She said his schedule was 6 a.m. to 3 or 4 every day.
Yeah.
He'd be home between 3 and 4 every day.
Maybe he went to jail.
But you wasn't home at all? All weekend?
Yeah, you find out that he was going down to Augusta instead of going to work because he was going down to church, and that's where he was meeting the aunt, and she kept asking about the baby and shit like that.
Ma'am, there is no baby. I saw that in quote, ma'am, there is no baby. I'm sorry to let you know.
It was too much to just be like, oh my God, I feel so sorry for you. I didn't. It was like I said, it was just to the point where I was like, bitch, Lord.
It really, to me, and I do get that it has clearly happened to at least 2 other women. But like, if it's the same, then like, and I already know common sense isn't common, but like, come on.
It's not a common virtue.
Yes, it is.
Come on.
It's not a common virtue.
Again, I'm dumb, but not that dumb.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, I will say that like people, because they're not all men, right?
Yeah.
People who suffer from what has apparently been diagnosed via third party and psychologists as narcissism and what is it, the something behavior,
personality disorder, behavior disorder, or something like that.
Something like that, right? Those people do have a great sense. I don't even know what it is. Maybe it's part of the disorder to be able to pick up on the motherfuckers that will fall for their shit. I don't know if it's part of it or not, but
well, she spoke on that at the end too, because at the end she said once they separated, she needed him to sign the divorce papers and stuff like that, and things like that. She was like, why me? Basically,
borderline personality disorder. Sorry.
That's it. But she was like, why me? Why?
Bitch, you did it to yourself. Don't why you nothing now, child. Yeah. You had 52,000 other red flags that you could have stopped
before you even married him. You had them before you got
But
y'all was engaged for a month.
Not even a month. Not even a month. Couple weeks.
I mean, I was only engaged for a month.
You're different though. You different though. Because you went to the club and you actually pursued Jamal.
Yeah.
Whereas she met this nigga 2 days ago.
Moved in with him.
No, facts. Okay, but continue what you're saying. Yes.
But she was like, you know, why me? He was telling her why her. She was like, and why would you marry me? Like, you don't love me. Like, she had to come to grips that he never loved her. He never did. He said, I had to. He said, I had to marry you. You wasn't going to make it 2 months as my girlfriend. So I had to lock you down. I had to do those things. And because I could see that, that's what I had to do.
Right. In order
right
to
then and there, I would have went through the phone and killed his ass because I just don't understand. Like, you put me through all of this and you know what you've done to me. Like, as much as we want to say that it's a sickness, it's a condition, whatever, you were well aware of what you were doing.
Nah, facts.
And I have to get you now. I have to.
Yeah, like I can say it's mental illness and it doesn't mean that you're exonerated from
these hands
behavior. Like, it just means you fucked up. Like, the way you behave is fucked up, and this is what it's called.
Right.
You saying why me? But you're not the only one that went through it. You're not the only one going through it. But you just the only person that decided to put your part into 52 10-minute videos
and talk slow as fuck.
It talks slow as hell, and then keep reiterating the same thing that we just heard in the last video.
I was like, God damn, these videos would have been a lot shorter had you not repeated this 16
She times. Almost reminded me of the second ex-wife, the one who had the receipts, the one that she sent us a video of.
Mm-hmm.
Baby girl talked through the entire thing. Baby girl, just show me the receipt. You could talk through it.
For once, she talking didn't tell me nothing.
Hear about how he's the devil and these demons be walking down the street and da-da-da-da-da, and you just need to
I didn't care about that. I just wanted to see the receipts that you said you had.
And she never did.
Drop them.
And she never did.
Drop them.
I'm like, bro, I could care less about all this other shit.
But I will say it's all coming out so quickly that it's not like, oh, it's been like 2 weeks. She hasn't dropped anything. No, it's been like a day and a half since she did that. But
you know, she's gotten money off of this.
Fuck it.
She gained what 4 million followers since her story came out. Each video has like 4 to 5 million views.
Yeah,
you're getting a lot of money. So if this is, and I guess if this is a joke to her, like, I don't know, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna knock and say that this is not your real life, because it might have been.
No, I mean,
but I don't believe a word that come out your fucking mouth, because there's no way in hell that you didn't see the red flags after the first 2.
She seen them. She said she seen them. She let them go. It was like a balloon to her. Ooh, balloon. Ooh, that's what it says.
They were talking about this on the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne said, does she got a big back? Because this is giving big back behavior.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I'm not a person that goes off like looks and things like that, but boy,
with somebody else, she addressed it. Ain't no way in hell I would have addressed it, but she does address it. She says, people in the comments, y'all are saying this, y'all are saying that. She came back and addressed situations with her aunt, because she said people were saying, well, your aunt gave you some badass advice. Like, I don't understand why your aunt wasn't giving you better advice, like leave him and stuff. She's like, oh, well, you know, they didn't know I wasn't telling them anything. That was the problem too.
Because she didn't tell her. She didn't tell her.
Yeah, was embarrassed.
She didn't tell her family till after she got married.
Flag. You know, he was a neon red, just glowing red flag. So you didn't
the bright yellow highlighter vest.
Yeah, like
but he was the first man that probably, proposed, and the first man that did this, and but like, marriage does not fix
nothing.
Anything. It fixes nothing. Like, nothing.
First off, when somebody say they got offshore accounts, I'm calling the FBI.
Number one, if I tell you to show me an account that you know you got money in, and we try to do something to make our lives better as my husband, and you tell me no, ain't nobody gonna make me show you nothing. Bro, do you know how fast?
That's the end.
There's a lady.
No, you lying shit.
So there was a lady on TikTok who was going through it, but why she pull up on Wikipedia, you know how he showed, I guess she showed like the bank statement with the Cayman Islands for the offshore account or whatever. That is one that you get off Google. She did not. Yeah. He got it off Google, printed it out. The lady literally typed it in, showed us that it was the same thing, same numbers. Everything was the same. You are blind. You have on beer goggles, love goggles, Cloud9, cupcake girl.
It's disillusion at this point. It ain't being about it's not about being blind. Like, you're literally gaslighting yourself.
Yes. And what pisses me off even more, what was it? LaShondra and what's that other girl name? It was the two.
Oh, Rayshonda and LaShonda.
Yeah. Okay. So
the scammer.
Yeah. So when she come allegedly out and said that LaShondra was scamming and she didn't know, everybody, oh, you lying, oh, you this, oh, this is some bullshit, you know, yada yada yada. I was like, nah, man, because to me, I understand you didn't see the shit, but if this person is saying they paying the bills and stuff like that, and it's not being done, and you find that out, like, that is easier to do than to have this whole big ass lie over here that y'all believing with this girl over here. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if it's a lie. Let me say that. I don't know if it's a lie. But y'all are saying y'all don't really have sympathy for her over here, but you giving her all the sympathy on some bullshit that she could have stopped within the first month. And I don't get it. I'm like,
apparently they kept saying that LaShondra, the one that was the scammer, that wasn't even her real name.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, allegedly.
Name. It wasn't.
And I was like, complete. As soon as they dropped the receipts that wasn't our government name, I said, I can't trust nothing that the internet. So no fucking more.
I'm dead. Look, it was a lot, and it's a lot to unpack. And we've sat here and talked about it for the last 90 minutes, and still haven't touched on every single detail.
Because we didn't even get to his response, the ex-wife response, the kid response.
No, but I suggest you check all of that out
and leave comments.
Check all of that out. If you've seen the entire saga unfold on TikTok, let us know in the comments. But I'm gonna wrap this up because, like I said, we gonna be on here for just as long as Sis was dropping her TikToks for us to fully dissect it. But I think the moral of the story here, ladies, is don't be desperate for no nigga.
Catch the first red. Ended at the first red flag.
If you see something, say something, as they say on the Metro.
If you see something, be aware. Like, and say something to yourself. Like, hey, don't just put it in voice memos like she did, and then be like, man, that's where I'm gonna leave it. No.
Yeah, unless you plan on making money off TikTok.
Well, that's also why I didn't think this shit was true, because why is your first step to do this? Put it on TikTok.
I mean, people's first instinct when they find their unalive animal is to set up their camera and have a reaction video. So that didn't too much. But it bothered me, but it didn't bother me because I'm like, people do stupid, weird things.
And I guess on a good note to her is, I guess she's getting her trip to Paris or wherever she wanted to go, because people have sympathy for her. Baby girl, you're not getting any of my money. You're a scammer, if you ask me.
Listen, you got my views. That's about
allegedly.
At my time. That's it. That's all I'm getting.
She didn't even get my views. At that point, I didn't even make it past. I listened to one of my favorite YouTubers tell the fast version. He got my views. She was not getting my views.
She got my views because and to be honest, once I get tired of hearing people talk about something, I might go in.
I'm gonna go in.
I'm gonna go in and watch it Like when everybody was talking about Drake, I did after a while go to X and see what they were talking about. Highly, I don't know how. I got mixed views on that one. But
Story for a different day.
different day. This is not it. But for me, it's just like, I mean, you got what you got from me. I got to do housework while I listen to you bitch moan and complain about the problems that you made for yourself.
That you made for yourself.
Tyler Perry's gonna be probably contacting you soon to get the rights to your story.
Lord, don't turn
the original.
Turn the man into a crackhead.
I'm rooting for
don't
it.
Turn her into.
I'm not.
I'm rooting for the to be original.
I don't wish any bad
documentaries all the time. I would watch that in movies.
I don't wish any bad upon her, but baby girl, I don't. Nothing that comes out of your mouth is truthful at this point.
I feel that. But anywho, what am I supposed to say here? Anyways, it's been real. Make sure you guys like, follow, and subscribe on all platforms to the UNAB network, Unapologetically Black, Never Broken, Always Empowered. Check us out every Saturday here on HNIC. Check us out every Friday night at 9 p.m. for trivia. And the men are on here every Saturday night at 9 p.m. So they're coming on right after us. And then on Sundays, our flagship show, like I said, Unapologetically Black, Never Broken, Always Empowered, comes on at 8 p.m. So we take over HNIC all weekend long. You can find me on Tuesdays whenever we do Tubi Tuesdays. But until next time, guys, we out. Have a good night. Peace.